there's one particular living principle that's important in any kind of relationship that you may have. It is not taking it personal. Do not take what other people are saying to you as an attack, although it may feel that way emotionally, because it's coming from whatever is on their minds, whatever is troubling them. So I suggest to anybody who may be having some difficulty when people are going, do not take it personal. That's what I really suggest. I know it's difficult, but when you recognize it's not about you, it'll help. So don't take it personal. Do you think that it makes sense?
Fred, I'm really glad you're talking about that.
Okay.
Many years ago, when I wrote my book, The Gift to Listen, the Courage to Hear, one of the things I was talking about there, principle there is 90% of it is not about you. That's how I frame it.
Okay.
And that is to remind all of us, when we're listening, when we're hearing the kinds of things that people might say, even if our name is on everything that they're saying, that they blame us. You know, my life would really be good if you didn't do such and such, or if you did do such and such. And that can be in the workplace, it can be in a marital relationship, it can be between parents and children, friends, in the church, in the synagogue, in the temple, you name it.
Exactly.
It shows up for us. And to understand, as you were saying, that people project onto us. And we project onto other people.
Exactly.
Whatever our hopes and our fears are,
yes,
our past experiences, it's really hard not to do that.
Exactly.
And so to recognize, one, I do it to people. I gotta recognize that. I have to be honest about that.
That's right. That's right.
And that other people do that to me. And to be able to recognize when that's happening. And so one of the things I urge people to do, not to take it personal, is to see the person who might be attacking you, to see that person as a little child.
Ah, that's good.
Who's really scared.
Yes.
Feeling lost.
Yes.
Feeling anxious.
Yes. Yes.
And so what a child who's lost, scared, anxious does is, ah!
Exactly.
And when we're adults and we do that, the consequences it can be pretty severe. And it can look more sophisticated, it can look more rational, but emotionally it's still the ah!
Exactly, exactly. No, I agree with you 100% because I've seen that happen in my life and in other people's lives where that has happened. And what I like about what you just said is seeing the other person as a little child. But you also added something that I hadn't thought about for the moment. We all project. It's almost, I would say it is a normal thing, but it isn't natural. That is to say, we really don't need to do that. And when we're calm and when we're really secure in our own selves, we don't do that. But it's so common, it's an impact in the community that happens that way. That's because it happens that way. So I agree with you 100% that makes it difficult for us to actually work with people.
Yes. And when you're a leader and you have 20 people or 200 people or 2,000 or 20, whatever it may be, projecting onto you, it can become very challenging to say, oh, 90% of this is not about me. And the reason I say 90% is not about me is because there might be a kernel of truth that we need to acknowledge.
That's true.
And then we can, if we're not careful, we can say, oh, this is all about them and become disconnected in a moment when we really need to remain connected with people. But the thing is, how can I remain connected with someone when they are attacking me? Or when I am interpreting what they say as attack. Because what happens in most places, especially in workplaces and in religious organizations, what typically happens is the person feels attacked, and what we do when we feel attacked, we do what I call fight, flight, or freeze.
True.
We either go back on the attack, or we run away and say, I'm getting out of Dodge, I don't want to be with these people, they don't respect me, what. Or we emotionally freeze and we become ineffective in really in accomplishing what it is in our hearts and our minds and our responsibility to do.
So what's the other possibility there?
That's a good question. Well, as I said, imagine the person as a young child.
Okay, yes, that's right.
That helps me stay connected rather than fight, flight, or freeze.
All right.
So here's a child, here's a person who needs my love.
Yes.
So
yes.
how can I stay connected with love?
Yes.
Is really what
yes.
all of it is about. The antidote to not taking it personal is to love.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Do I ever agree with that? I mean that resonates with me so much because I realize for a moment I want to get onto the love thing. Just for a minute.
I know that's your thing.
And love is not really an emotion. It's a state of being. If you are in a state of being of love, then you can see the person as a child.
Yeah.
Because you then begin to be discerning rather than judging the people. You become discerning. When you discern, you can see the person as a child. And when you're in a state of love, you can do that. So I think that's such an important part of that.
And I really like how you're framing it about a state of love rather than you loving that person.
Yes.
Because sometimes some people are not very lovable.
Exactly.
Or they're not easily lovable.
Exactly.
And you say, well, I don't really like this person.
Mm-hmm.
But when you focus on being in a state of love, that's about where you are. It's not about the other person.
Exactly.
And when we're able to relate with someone from our own state of love and how it's framed in 12-step programs, is to pray for the person who offends you most.
Hey.
And that's about that state of love.
Yes. And if you're a Christian, Jesus said, love your enemies. And that's difficult sometimes. But that's why we're often, I think, a very practical way of carrying that out.
So don't take it personally.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that puts it on the street.
What we do urge you to take personal is for you to be in and experience the state of love.
Oh, I love it.
Know that you, as the psalmist David wrote, that you were formed in love.
Yes.
Each one of us.
Yes.
And as we're able to remember that, even when the attacks are coming,
yes,
that those momentary attacks do not define who you are, nor do they define the state of your being.
yes,
Don't take it personal. Don't take the attacks personal.
exactly.
But do take love. Take that very personal.
Oh, indeed. Therefore, I really, listen, we're so close in that regard. I can say not only 100%, I can say 101%. But let me just add a little PS. What makes it difficult for us to remain in a state of love sometimes is not just what happened when we were attacked, but how we judge ourselves. And when we judge ourselves, we automatically know that which made us is obviously not loving us, because we are judging ourselves. We're saying we're not worthy. That's the point. We're not really worthy. That is not what the Spirit says to us. When we talk about love, let me add one word. As far as the maker of the universe is concerned, it's unconditional love, which means you can make mistakes. All of us make mistakes. So you don't just cry and moan over the fact that you made a mistake. Understand that you always, no matter what mistake you made. I made a mistake a few moments ago by taking a turn, but I recognize the Spirit is with me, and I am still loved. And perhaps, as a matter of fact, I'm even loved all the more because I'm that child that you were talking about, lost, so to speak. And so it's with the Spirit that helped me to bring me back to unconditional love. So it's not only love, it's unconditional love, if I might say.
Amen. And so it is.
And so it is, and it shall be.
This was fun doing this together.
I love it.
Thanks. All right.
Thank you.
We'll do it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Looking forward to it.